My name is Mark Wood. I guess you could call me the Mayor Emeritus of Point Blank, simply because I can't figure out how to get the job to somebody else.
Nobody wants it.
I didn't expect a turnout like this. I thank you all for coming, seriously. And we have a big turnout with our candidates. I will tell you the same joke I told them. We'll put them in the pews, because all candidates should be a pew. I'm still getting questions. I would ask you not to shout them out. I'm going to try to keep this as short as we can. We don't want to be here all night long. And I guess we better start by offering a pledge of allegiance. Everybody, if you don't mind standing and moving your hats. I pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
I'm going to give you all a little test. I notice they don't have a Texas flag here, which is, as a son of the Republic of Texas, is kind of offensive. But I have that.
All right.
How about a pledge to the Texas flag? I pledge allegiance to thee, Texas,
one state, under God, one and indivisible.
Thank you a lot. I'm going to go with this. Frank, where are you?
Right here.
Okay, Frank, would you lead us in a prayer?
Yes, sir. Good evening. My name is Frank Palaccio. I am one of the elders of Point Blank Community Church, and welcome to our second campus, Point Blank Community Church, Campus 2. Let's go ahead and bow our heads in prayer and praise the Lord Almighty. Heavenly Father, we thank you for waking us up alive today because it was your will. Help us with the beam of light to shine through in this world we live in. Help us to overcome the darkness. And thank you for having the fellowship of all of our community leaders here. It's a wonderful fellowship that you're providing for us. In Jesus' holy name we pray. Amen.
Amen. Isn't this a wonderful facility they've got here? Yeah, they've spent a lot of time. They put it together. Really feel good about it. A little bit of administrative stuff. We have restrooms back there. We have an exit that way. Of course, you came in the main exit. We have cookies and coffee over there. Help yourself. We got a lot of cookies, so make them go away. I don't need them. With that, out of a little bit of the format, with this big turnout, I'm going to have to do it a little bit differently than I wanted to. But again, I'm going to ask you not to shout out questions to the candidate. If you have any questions for the candidate or for the office, please write them down and give them to me. I'm going to go through them because I'm having some repeat questions here. So we'll do it that way. And meaning no disrespect to the offices, the easiest thing for me to do is go down the list as the party gave it to me. So we'll just do that. It may be a bit of a disrespect to some of the offices. It's not intentional. And this is an official meeting of the public. And we're under Penal Code 4205. Disruption of a meeting or a procession. Any person commits an offense if with the intent to prevent or disrupt a lawful meeting, procession, or gathering creates a misdemeanor. And Brian back there will remind you. So with that, what I'd like to do is open it up. What's the first one, Gary? I think it's Congressional District 10. Congressional District, I'm sorry folks. Congressional District 10 is the first, and we have several representatives here. I have a Dawn and a Ben. Both of you here? Anybody else? Dawn, you want to start us off? I'll give you the mic.
one thing to say before Dawn starts. If you have not checked in with Kelly at that desk over there and your name is not highlighted, I won't know to put your name up there. So if there's any question about whether you've been registered or not, come by and let me know that you're here.
Also, if anybody didn't get a list, raise your hand and I'll bring it to you. This is a list of candidates. Anybody else?
Go ahead.
Good evening, everybody.
Press.
There's a button.
There's a button, or you can use the other mic. I got frustrated with it too.
It works. Good evening, everybody. My name is Dawn Marshall, and I am running for the Congressional District 10. Full disclosure, I am a Democrat. Okay, I know this is not a room of Democrats, and that is okay. Here's the thing, a little bit about me. I am a college professor. I teach at a local community college in College Station, Bryan. And I'm not from Texas, I'm gonna tell you that right out. I've been here 30 years though, it's kind of that saying. I may not have been born here, but I got here as fast as I could, kind of thing. I came here originally for graduate school. I am a graduate of Texas A&M. I got a master's and a PhD. And happily was teaching away. And you know, I may not agree with President Trump. I'm sure you know that. But it's not like he did everything horrible. But I don't necessarily like the second term. And the reason is even though he seems to be getting a lot of things done, I don't like the way it's going. I don't like how it's being done. With that aside though, which, you know, that's gonna be an obvious thing. With that aside, I think there's a lot of things we can agree on. We can agree that the Constitution should be followed. I think we can agree that we should have our freedoms of speech, our freedoms of religion, our freedoms of press, assembly, freedom of petition. I think we should not have a president tell us, you got shot because you brought a gun to a protest. He had a conceal and carry license. The man had every right to have his gun on him. I think some of the things we can also agree on is that the government should be here to take care of the people, right? They should be here to help us when the health care falls apart, when jobs are going away. I know a lot of you agree with some of the policies he's doing. I think the tariffs are useful. There's a reason for tariffs. I mean, for example, honey, if we import honey from China, all right, it's tariffed at about 220%. And the reason it is because if we let Chinese honey in here, all the honey producers will be out of business because that's just how much honey they have, okay? So that's saving jobs, that's a good thing. But when we use it willy-nilly because I don't like you, you're not doing what I want you to do.
30 seconds.
I think that's an issue, okay? Again, I think there are a lot more things we can agree on than we can disagree on. And I think we just have to remember that regardless of which side of the aisle you're on, we're all human beings. And we all just want the same thing. We want to be able to live a life. We want to have a job. We want to be able to have children. We want to be able to put money aside. So when we retire, we're not homeless. My name is Dawn Marshall. I appreciate you listening to me. You have a good evening.
And Ben, where are you at? I don't see. Would you like to come up here? Or you want me to bring you the microphone?
Oh, come on.
Okay.
Can y'all hear me okay?
You gotta press that button there, or you can use the other mic. It's a little less frustrating.
How now? Better? My name is Ben Bius. I'm running for the United States Congress. And I want to thank you, Mayor, and thank you, Point Blank, the greater Point Blank metropolitan area, for coming out tonight. I've learned tonight that this is the second largest city in San Jacinto County. So it's a real honor to be here. I'm okay?
You're okay. This one's just off. There, thank you. It works fine.
I'm from Huntsville, Texas. My wife is here with me tonight, Kim, and I'm very grateful to her. Some of y'all may know her. She has Kim's Home and Garden Center there in Huntsville, so that's the commercial plug for that. I'm a businessman. I've been in business in Huntsville now since 1981. I'm in real estate investments and construction and development. And I'm one of 8 candidates in the United States congressional race, Senate District 10. And your congressman now is Morgan Luttrell. I was talking with Morgan last night, and he told me, I asked him, I said, Morgan, tell me really why you're retiring. He said, to be with my family and raise my children. And when Charlie Kirk was murdered, his wife became very concerned about his safety. I can tell you that the left is a very dangerous group of people. And I'm a supporter of Donald J. Trump. Matter of fact, I ran for office many years ago, and I campaigned on securing our border and declaring the narcotics traffickers terrorists and destroying them. And today we have a president that does it. And that's what excites me about serving in the United States Congress. We can get things done. And being a businessman, I intend to get things done. And I'll be glad to answer any kind of questions, but I do want to tell you one of the things that I most would like to accomplish in the as your representative from Texas. I believe that we should defund the Department of Education and return that money to this county and to all of the counties and help them either lower your taxes or help fund vocational and technical training schools for those children that are not college bound. If we can get their head out of that computer and the Facebook and the iPad and let them put their brains and their hands to work, we'll create the finest workers in the world. And when we do, we'll have economic development. They'll have jobs here in their own hometown, and they can earn the American dream right here in San Jacinto County. And with the rise of artificial intelligence and things that are going to challenge your jobs, and if you haven't studied artificial intelligence, even Elon Musk says it is a fundamental threat to our way of life.
I gotta call you.
Sir?
I gotta call you on time.
Oh, that's time?
That's time.
Okay, well, vote for Ben Bius. I'll get things done.
That is District 10, a U.S. Representative. I do not have any other candidates, and I have no specific questions. Can you all make sure you get all your questions in, or did they generate any questions for you?
Does anybody else need a question sheet?
Okay. Moving right along, I don't have anybody from the Court of Criminal Appeals. I don't have anybody from the Chief Justice. That's frustrating too. Huh?
Yeah.
Thank you.
There you go.
I don't have anybody for Chief Justice. I don't have anybody for the 15th Court of Appeals. I don't have anybody for the 15th Court of Appeals District Place 3. I don't have anybody from the State Board of Education. This is interesting. State Senator, District 5, nobody. State Representative, District 18, nobody. Chief Justice, 9th Court of Appeals. That brings us to District Judge. And first next name on my list is Rob. Rob Fryer, where you at? There you are. This is less frustrating, trust me.
I usually don't need this, but thank you, Mark. Thank you, Mark, for putting this on for us. I'm humbled that so many great people took their time on a Friday night to be here and to engage all of us that have entered the fray into the challenge of running for public office. My first and probably my last. Can you all hear me? No. Okay, all right. All right. No, I'll be, yeah, you gave me this one. Yeah, this one? Excuse us for a second. Really close, test. All right, how about that? Okay, so I want to pride myself on a couple of salient points that I'm going to make with you. This is my...
You got to keep your button on that red.
Here?
Yep.
All right.
Sorry.
So...
No, it's not on. If you push the button.
You got it now.
Okay. Yeah, how about now?
No.
All right, well...
Hold it until it comes on.
Okay. All right. I'm holding it.
You got it.
Test. You got it right there. Oh, okay. Within this bar. All right. There we go. So I'm going to focus on a couple of things, technological issues aside, and that I had mentioned the other day in Trinity County. Okay, so I'm just going to talk loud and not worry about this thing. I think everybody can hear me because I have a large, powerful voice in support of victims of crime. And I've tried over 200 felony jury trials in 8 separate Texas counties. And I have been that person there for the 8-year-old boy that got lit on fire in Montgomery County. I was the tip of the spear for the Clear Lake murders for 4 kids that were senselessly murdered in a house for no reason other than to feed a drug addiction. I have been there and tried probably 30 murder and 30 capital murder cases. I am the only board certified attorney in criminal law in this 3-county area. I have dedicated my entire professional career to advocating for law enforcement and for the victims of crime, because the last time I checked, the Constitution applies to them as well.
Amen.
Okay? I am a firm believer in respecting everybody's rights. We have fought 2 world wars and a bunch of other wars to safeguard those rights for all the people that have made sacrifices for this country. We are not North Korea or Venezuela. We are not Iraq. And we have the best legal system in the world. But even with that, we have a system in the 258th District Court that is woefully broken, that is woefully ineffective, because things are not getting done. And I may be attacked for a lack of civil experience. Fine. I've never represented a POA before.
Good.
I'm more concerned about protecting the victims' rights rather than whether or not a dog should be on a leash walking down the street.
Amen.
I'm concerned about public safety, your safety, and the dignity of our most precious resource, our kids. And I have been in a court
30 seconds.
where, and I have not only seen it and heard it, but lived it. There is no reason for any aggravated sexual assault of a child case should last for 5 years. And I saw it. And it's not fair. It's not fair at all. Those days are over. The days of delays, the days of inaction, and the days of indecision are over. You have my word. And I have shown all of the enthusiasm and humility to get out there and engage with you for the last year in all 3 counties. Rob Freyer, of the 258th District Court. Thank you, and God bless all of you.
Amen.
Okay, Judge Kitchen.
Hello. Okay. First of all, that last frame showed Mr. Fryer as the district judge. He's not the district judge. He's an assistant district attorney. I'm a district judge. I've been a district judge. I'm in my 8th year. I was elected in 2018. In 1978, I moved to this district out of law school. Well, can you hear me now? Can you hear me now? Hello? Yeah.
Yeah, right like that.
Okay, well.
Don't put your finger on that.
Oh, well. Okay,
I'm not holding your time.
Try that one.
Just turn that one on. There you go.
How's that? Okay. I'm actually the sitting district judge for the 258th District. I moved to this area almost 50 years ago out of law school to work as the assistant district attorney for Polk, Trinity, and San Jacinto County. I've been practicing law for almost 50 years. I represent every kind of case there is. My court is a court of general jurisdiction. Mr. Fryer wants to be a prosecutor or be a district attorney in a criminal court, that's fine. He can move to Houston because that's what they do. Up here, I hear everything. I hear child cases, I hear divorces. The case he talked about 5 years, that case was set for trial. It had to be postponed because the DA's office hadn't got the DNA tested on evidence. And Mr. Fryer was working with him at that time. So those are some things you need to know about. I've got some literature back there, but I've done every kind of law there is in this area. This is not a one-trick pony court. It's something that you have to know about. Family law, civil law. I just spent 2 weeks in a multi-million-dollar jury trial in Trinity. That was a multi-million-dollar case where a lady was almost killed by an 18-wheeler. That's the kind of cases you have to hear in the 258th District Court. It's not just coming up here and being a prosecutor. And as far as that goes, every citizen, whether they're accused or not, is entitled to a fair trial. You want to be a tough prosecutor? Then be a tough prosecutor. But a judge has to hear everybody's case. He has to be fair, he has to be impartial, he has to listen to the evidence, and more importantly, he has to know what the law is. Because if you don't know what the law is, you're going to make the mistakes that you'll probably be seeing make if you hire my opponent. But I'm going to tell you that this is an important job. This is the most serious type of cases that are heard on the local level, and it's not to be taken lightly. I've spent over 50 years studying the law, practicing the law, on every kind of law. I've done 60 different appeals. I have prosecuted capital murder cases too. I've prosecuted murder cases and everything down, defended cases all the way down to illegal hunting. So, and that's quite a bit of that in this area actually. But nonetheless, those are the things that you have to be aware of to be this job. This is not a one-trick pony job. This is somebody that has to have experience. You can't just pick up a book and all of a sudden be experienced in civil law. So I ask for your vote. Retain me for my third term. Thank you.
Okay, I don't have any questions that have been submitted for the judge. Are there any? Did they generate anything for you? Okay, moving right along. Criminal District Attorney, San Jacinto County, Mr. McGee. Hold this thing close to your mouth. Okay. It's left for us.
Good evening. My name is Greg McGee, and I am running for the Criminal District Attorney's position. Well, first,
Not holding it.
what's that?
Close enough.
Not close enough. Okay.
There you go.
Okay. Most of y'all in this room know me from having spent 30 years as one of the elected officials. Most of y'all probably know Betty. Betty's my wife back there. Wave at everybody, Betty. Betty, say hello. I did not go looking for this job. This job came looking for me. People presented me with a list of problems, issues. I looked at them and felt like they were some serious issues. When I have always told everybody, if you're going to challenge an incumbent, you need to show why there needs to be a change, why there is problems, and then what you can do about them. I basically have figured this out, that Mr. Dillon and I do not have the same views, concerns, and compassion for justice for victims, community safety, and how that office should be operated. As an example, I do not believe that teachers who send nude photos to their minor students should have their high felony cases dismissed down to low misdemeanors and receive just small jail time in the county jail. I do not believe that repeat felony offenders should have their felony cases dismissed and reduced down to misdemeanors. I do not believe that our district attorney should be writing hot checks on his DA account. I do not believe that our district attorney's office should be losing the last several jury trials, including 2 murders. I do not believe that our disposition rate, clearance rate for our county should be at a 57%. It was 96% the last 2 years when our previous DA was in office. I do not believe that our felony prosecutor should only be prosecuting in one of our district courts. We have 2 felony courts. I also do not believe that our district attorney's office should be involved in conduct that results in the entire office being recused from several cases. We have a problem. I have a solution. I have a plan. And I hope tonight that I'm going to give you an opportunity from these questions to explain to you what my plan is to get us back on track. But if I do not have a question and be able to do that, please go to YouTube. I have a YouTube channel with video that will explain my plans and what I think the problem is. That is Greg McGee for Criminal District Attorney, and YouTube is @ElectMcGee. Thank you.
Well done.
Todd?
Yes, sir.
Come on.
Good evening, everybody. I respect Greg's beliefs, and I understand that he's entitled to believe that.
What?
I respect Greg's beliefs, and I believe he's entitled to believe that. And I don't think that Greg is saying these things to be malicious, to be mean, or to snipe at him. I think Greg believes these things because he's never prosecuted or defended a criminal case. And ladies and gentlemen, I'm not telling you that. You can check his own words. Look him up on the state bar. Alton Greg McGee is listed as a wills, probate, and real estate attorney. So yes, I think he has a very different view of what is appropriate from a criminal district attorney's office because he's never prosecuted nor defended a criminal case. I have spent the last 15 years defending for 4 years, and then the rest of that time prosecuting criminal cases. I've done it in Harris County. Don't worry, I got better and got out of there. I've done it in Lufkin. I've done it in Polk County. And as far as our record, you can find a statistic to match any basic result you want. But I'm going to give you a number. 251.5. What is that number? That is 251 years and 5 months worth of incarceration my office has issued since 2022 when I became a prosecutor, the elected district attorney. That does not include 3 life sentences. That does not include probation. Folks, this job is serious. It's not something we can hide behind statistics and make them work. The reality is there in the courtroom. In our felony courtrooms, we have 14, at most, 14 weeks, a year to try all of our cases. Think about that. For instance, this morning we went to grand jury and 25 cases were presented. Those 25 cases, if they all tried those cases, it would take 2 years alone, 1 month worth of grand jury. Folks, the courtroom in a criminal proceeding is a triage. And what we do is we focus on the most important cases. That is murder, that is sexual assault of a children, and that's what we get big verdicts on. Gary Ellis was a repeat sex offender. He will die in prison because we prosecuted him. These are serious cases. Now, you can see that statistic that, well, there's a lot of cases dismissed. Clint Johnson is a good example. He was sentenced to, he pled guilty to 14 years in TDC. He had 7 other companion cases. I'm not going to bring him back from TDC.
I'm sorry. I got to stop. Okay. I do have one question for the district attorney, however. The current district attorney seems to have a very close working relationship with the sheriff's department. So my question is, having said that, why are so many cases dropped to lack of evidence and procedural inaccuracies?
Well, I'd object to the foundation of the question, I would say. I don't think that's the case. Whoever said that maybe believes something and doesn't actually know what's going on. Like I said, there are cases that we drop due to judicial economy. I'm not going to bring a guy back from TDCJ who's serving 40 years to answer another lesser offense. But as far as procedural errors, things happen. Every single one of these gentlemen out here were brave enough to wake up in the morning and strap on a badge and a gun and protect us when we sleep, will tell you. Sometimes things don't go according to plan when you're out there. That's reality, folks. You can believe to the contrary, but I've seen the reality in my 15 years as a criminal lawyer. Reality is things happen like that. And sometimes we have to adapt and overcome. That's where experience counts. So, you can count on experience or you can count on belief. At the end of the day, that's your decision. Thank you very much. I look forward to seeing you all.
Okay, moving right along, we get to some real popular candidates here. County Judge. Barbara, you want to come up first?
Hello, good evening. So I'm Barbara Harrison Justice. I am glad that you all came out this evening. So I want to tell you a little bit about myself. I was born in Oakhurst, and I currently live in Point Blank, right on the same property that I was born. I am the granddaughter of Eddie Harrison. So I want to again thank you all for coming out. I want to let you know that San Jacinto County is very important to me. It's dear to my heart. I am doing this because I feel that we have some things going on that needs to change. San Jacinto County is growing. We can see that by all the land that's being purchased, all the new development that's coming up, the families moving in. But we don't have opportunities for this growth. We have some opportunities that we need to address. We know this is true because when we look at our infrastructure, we're behind. We look at our economic development, we're behind there. We have not kept up pace with the growth that is happening right now. And so sometimes it seems like we are behind as far as Texas standards are, but I feel that we can do better. We can do better, and I plan on helping us to do that. And some of the things that I can do, so throughout my career, I have had over 40 years of leadership. I've worked in government, I've worked in tribal governments, I've handled budgets, I've worked with long-term planning, I've managed large operations, I've tightened financial controls, and I've made some resources available. I've went out and checked in different areas to find the monies that are needed for different things. There are things that we need right now, and so we need to go out and find those. I plan on working directly with the county, the city, the school districts, the fire departments, the nonprofits, everybody to help us get what we need. Now, I understand what it means to stretch a dollar. You can ask my grandkids and children about that. But I feel like there are some things that we need to do here in this county. This job is not about, being flashy, but we have practical leadership. And there's nothing negative I can say about the incumbent, Judge Faulkner. The only thing that I can say is that I feel that he's stuck a little behind. Born and bred, been here all his life, and I feel like He is a very honorable person, but there's some things that we need to do to move forward, and those things have not happened. And so, as county judge, my focus will be on collaborating, not conflict. I believe in listening, working with Commissioners Court, city leaders, emergency services. So this position is about leadership, accountability, and I plan on working to do that. I ask you to come out and vote. Again, my name is Barbara Harrison Justice. I'm the granddaughter of Eddie Harrison. I'm the grandmother of Marcus and Leroy, and I ask for your vote.
I do have a lot of questions for the county judge position, but we'll hold those until we hear from the three candidates. David, where you hiding? Come on up here. David Bradley.
Thank you, everybody, for coming out tonight. It's been a real close. Can you hear me now?
Barely.
Thank y'all for coming out tonight. It's nice to see everybody out here getting involved with the politics and what's going on in the county and everything. My name is David Brandon. I've been in the county for many, many years. Not born here. My parents were native Texas. My grandparents were native Texas. We go back many, many generations in Texas. Lost elder to the Alamo, and my grandfather on my father's side was one of the first constables in the city of Borger when Ace Borger created it. My grandfather on my mother's side was head of city public works in Houston for 40 years. We moved up here many years ago. I got involved with the county back in 1994, writing plans, annexes, and so forth for the county so we could move forward in emergency management and applying for grants and coming up with procedures and policies to operate off of. I did that for a number of years, pro bono, you might say, because I worked full-time for a company called Manny Richfield. I know y'all heard of them, as a process operator, and worked on an $800 million process called Posse 2, from development all the way through to startup and turnaround. After that, I came to work for the county full-time in 2005 as elected commissioner, and started working more hands-on with what I knew as far as what I'd learned in the industrial field and the corporate field, with that being applications, engineering, processes, laws, statutes, rules, regulations, because I had to deal with a bunch of them, from OSHA all the way down. It was on the OSHA committee for VPP, volunteer process. So my education background has been very broad. It's been useful here in the county for many years, especially in writing the grants and everything. I agree that my problem with the process right now is it is behind the times. And in the last couple of years, we've had developments and changes, and there are plenty more of them coming down the road, even after Camp Mystic last summer is driving a lot of changes that we'll be hearing about next year that we're going to have to address at some point in time. We have to relook at the subdivisions coming in. We've been blessed with a couple of them have come in to negotiate things that make them better, from the roads, their improvements from what they used to be put in here, fire stations, apparatus, fire tanks, etc., that they now install instead of driving pump trucks all over the place. I've also been involved with all the fire departments here for a number of years, and was also on the Channel Industries Mutual Aid Committee and MAMBI, Mount Bellevue Mutual Aid Association, with Texas A&M Fire School since 1971. So I brought that down with me also. We're looking to improve the county and bring it more into where we should be in the 21st century and improve the daily lives of the individuals and those coming into town that are here now. They're not coming, they're here. We have to address it. And I hope you get your vote for it and move forward. Thank you.
Judge, where you heading? Fritz Faulkner, Judge. I didn't see you back there.
I got about 30-minute speech. I got to squeeze down.
You got to kind of squeeze it down a little bit. I know that's tough to hold in for 3 minutes.
So I'll try to hit the high spots.
Will you answer the question?
Can y'all hear me back there? I usually talk loud enough. My name's Fritz Faulkner, and I have the honor and privilege of being your county judge. Am I live, ma'am? All right. I've lived in the county all my life, which I hate to admit is 66 years. Been married to my wife, Leanne, for 45 years of wedded bliss. I've got 4 children and 4 grandchildren. If I had about 30 minutes, I'd brag on them grandchildren, but I'm going to jump on down. Graduated from Cold Springs High School in 1977, got out of Sam Houston in 1980. Applied for law school. My daddy was about 70 years old, who practiced law. I really wanted to practice with him a little bit. Worked in the oil field for about a year, then my wife called and said, you got accepted into law school, and the ice was about that thick on the floor of that drilling rig, and I walked right off the floor. Went to law school, got out of there in about 2.5 years, and I've been practicing law since 1983, the last 42 years. Since 1998, there have been 4 times in San Jacinto County that the county judge has either quit or got hauled out of there like this, or removed by the Texas Judicial Commission. And all 4 times, the commissioners, elected commissioners court of this county, for whatever reason, called on me to come in and fill in till that term was over with. So this happened 4 times, and I got to liking, enjoying the job. There's a lot of chances to help people and so forth, and so I have tried to go in through the front door the next 4 times. And I've been beat before, but I've been elected 4 times, and I'm seeking my 5th term right now. Now I want to tell you a little bit about what the county judge does. He's the chief financial officer, works with the budget, prepares the budget in conjunction, I should say, with the county auditor and the commissioners. And we've had some good commissioners, and I've prepared 20 budgets in my career, and probably every one, but 1 or 2, we have lowered the tax rate every time. 2002, tax rate in San Jacinto County for the county was 0.6619. The last budget I got passed is down 27%, down to 0.48. Well, it's not real rocket science how you do that. Y'all have all seen your property values go straight through the roof, and that's how you do that. I preside over the County Commissioners Court, which handles county business and decisions. This takes up a good deal of the time that I have. Some examples of those include applying for grants, approving purchases of using tax funds and grant funds. During my administration, over 21 years, we've secured over $50 million in recovery grants, ARPA grants, HAVA grants, borough grants, flood grants, buyout grants, TDA grants, MIT-MOD grants, and Mr. Brandon's worked with me during part of that time while he was there, and he knows all about it. I do want to point out one thing we have done. We did acquire about $500,000 worth of radios, and I understand I didn't get to see the news. I was working till about 8 last night, but that's it'll be a hot topic, I believe. We bought 60 handheld radios, and we bought 20 mobile radios, and they're all been programmed and they're being used, and we're waiting on DETCOG to they're going to provide the later end of the funding for our radio communication system, put us in a new console in the dispatch and the necessary repeaters or receivers or whatever you call it that goes up on top of the towers so our men can have better communications.
I granted you a little extra time, Judge.
I'm sorry, I didn't hear you call.
Since you answered 3 of the questions.
I look forward to serving y'all for the 5th term. Thank you very much.
And I am serious. He did answer 2 of the questions on there. There's a lot of questions about those radios. Frankly, I'm not sure that the commissioner or the judge are really informed enough to be able to answer those questions, because it's been with a bunch of technical committees. I happen to be the county engineer. I've been sitting in on a few of those. It is a mess, there's no question about it, and there's absolutely no money to cover the problem and fix it. So, having said that, I've got a couple of questions here. To the county judge candidates, what is the biggest single issue coming in the next 4 years for the county? Any one of you want to take that? David, I see you.
I think the biggest single issue that's coming to the county in the next 4 years is going to be...
Hang on, David. I'm sorry. Hang on.
Test.
Sorry about that.
David, if you hold it, you gotta go like this. Okay, talk right there, not on the side, but right there.
Can you hear me now?
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay. I think the biggest problem is going to be the growth that is coming here. It is here. You can tell by the subdivision that's coming in. The infrastructure is lagging because you're going to run into some issues like water. How are they going to get their water? There is no city water, so they're going to have to come in with their mud districts and PUDs and SUDs and everything else. And then you're going to have your infrastructure for your fire, your EMS, your law enforcement. Those are things I'm talking about when you sit down with the engineers and these developers. That's the time to start putting on paper what you want, what you can need that doesn't come out of your pocket. It comes out that that's part of their development. That's what they're going to be doing when they build these subdivisions to make it easy for these folks to move from where they're at in urban America into the country atmosphere. They're used to having curbs and gutters. You don't have that here. But when they're developing, if that's what you can get out of it to make it easier for everybody else, and that's what you do. You sit out and say, okay, you're going to put 500 homes in here. How about a fire department that's going to support it? Give us enough room there for a substation for law enforcement. Can you have constables and deputies out there? Because they're going to have needs. They're going to be out there from time to time. Address it then. Don't wait 2 years down the road and say, I wish we had it. You know, let's look at it now. And like I say, a lot of these areas around here are flood prone, very flood prone. Address it now, because Atlas 14 changed the flood dynamics drastically in San Jacinto County, and it's not through yet. We initiated, when I was there, a couple subdivisions. We put in there a stipulation of zero rise on water. That's water coming in, water going out, to address that. And there's going to be more, especially with Camp Mystic, the incident up there in areas that's going to be closed. Used to, you would regulate, and I did floodplain management for 20 years, okay? So you address floodplain outside the floodplain. You don't do it inside it. So you're going to see a lot of your areas that used to, you say, well, I've never flooded. Wait, when you cut those trees down with massive land clearings and everything, what was is now changed, and you got to get ready for it. And so that's areas that we need to look at. We need to concentrate on. We need to restudy the rules. There were 6 different flood determination adjustments came out today alone from FEMA. And if you don't stay on top of it, it'll eat you up real quick.
Amen.
Oh, well, David, since you're right next to the judge, I don't mean to cut you out there, Barbara, but if we could just hand it to him. And the question is, what is the biggest issue in the coming 4 years for the county?
Is that the same question?
Yes, sir.
Well, I couldn't agree with him anymore. The growth, we have just one developer that I had lunch with today, and they bought over 60,000 acres, and they've laid out their plan, and it's over a 40-year period, and we're, that's right, we are growing whether we like it or not. I've been here all my life, and I kind of liked it when there wasn't but 5,000 people in the whole county, but you can't look at it that way. You got to get with the growth and try to manage it the best way we can. While Mr. Brandon was on the court, we passed some more stringent regulations for subdividing, and I think we got a good set of those rules, especially when compared to our neighbors to the southeast, without naming any names. But he's exactly right, and we're going to have to.
That is a sign of your God.
Test.
Do not hit it, okay. Well, I have a good team, and we've been dealing with the growth.
I'm not shutting you off.
I believe he's got a little clicker up there.
I've often wanted one, but I don't have one.
All right, you got a loud voice, go ahead.
Well, I pretty well covered it. I agree. The growth is the biggest challenge that we have in front of us because we have infrastructure set up for maybe 30,000 people, and when they develop this 60,000 acres they've purchased, you know, I haven't looked at
It's all right, you know what? Sorry about that.
y'all hear me when I'm talking?
Yeah.
We're subject in the next 10 or 15 years to be at close to 50,000, so you're right, we got to step up our efforts. We received, as I said, probably $50 million in grant works during the administration, and right next week we're going out for bid on about $14 million worth of projects that were part of that mid-mod funding from Harvey, and that's going to upgrade a lot of roads, but as they say, Rome wasn't built in a day.
Thank you, Judge.
Barbara, I'll have you come up here since we seem to be having technical issues here, and I apologize.
No problem. You shot me down.
All right.
And the question is, what is the biggest issue in the coming 4 years for the county?
Okay, and I agree with both of the gentlemen that our infrastructure is the big problem. And so one of my plan is to review, revise, and re-engineer, to look at the plans, the guidelines that we already have for the infrastructure, review that, revise anything that's antiquated, bring it up to date. And I feel like we can re-engineer that. We can go look at our, we can look at forensic accounting and budgeting so that we can maximize our efficiency. There are some economic development initiatives that we can work on, looking at small business tourism. There are some things that some of the other counties are doing, and I'm going to go ahead and name a name. So AB zoning is being done in Montgomery County. There are 10-year tax breaks that are being done in some of the other areas that we can do. We can invest in emerging technologies like smart infrastructure, broadband expansion, renewable energy. There's some things that we can work on. And so there's an organization or a committee, the County Judges and Commissioners Association of Texas. So they, this group has these meetings, they have different committees, and in those committees they make recommendations. And if you go and look at the most recent recommendations, and over the few years, there are some things that we could have taken out of there and put in place so that we will be future ready. So instead of us now trying to catch up, we should have already been 5-10 years ahead of the game. And that's information that's covered at those meetings. We could have already done that. So now that we're behind, we need to look at our zoning, our infrastructure, and the community development policies and procedures that we have in place, right? So I agree with the governor where we want to eliminate some of the school tax and different things like that. But at this time, we need to be looking aggressively so that we can attack this. If the judge has already mentioned this one group that's bought all this property, we need to be working on that now so we won't be behind, and so that we, the people that live here, won't have to pay more taxes and pay for those things for those people that are coming in. I thank you.
Okay. New rules. Let's try to hold our answers to the questions to a minute or so. Amen. I've got a couple here that I'm going to combine because I think it's really related. One question is, it seems we pay a lot in real estate taxes. Where do they go? Why do they stay in the county or in the precinct? And then the second one is, there seems to be a lot of big money buying large lots of property within the county. Do we see this as a problem or a benefit? And maybe you all feel like you've answered that.
Anything to add?
Anybody want to take it from the judge group?
You're going to have to repeat the question, and let's just do one at a time.
Okay. There is a lot of big money buying large blocks of property within the county. Do you see this as a problem or a benefit?
I think if managed properly, it could be a benefit. We can't stick our head in the sand and think growth's not coming. Houston's busting out of the seams and they're moving up here. And there ain't much we can do to try to get a handle on it and try to work with them and develop this growth in the proper manner.
Thank you, Judge. David, you want to add anything to that?
I think it's correct. That's the point where you get with the people that's got the money, that's coming in and doing the large project developments, and you start working with them on what can and can't be done. What we don't want to do, and what my biggest fear is during Harvey, and I know everybody here probably saw it on TV, you don't build subdivisions of $500,000 homes in a place called Addicts and Barker Reservoir. Okay? And that's what the commissioners did down there, because they didn't have plans, they didn't have the policies in place to avoid that deal. That's what we need to avoid here. And the only way we're going to do it is we've got to look at mistakes that was done. Yes, going to commissioners' court meetings and conferences and stuff like that is a good tool for learning, but it doesn't address all the problems that you have, because every county and jurisdiction is unique in its own way. And it's not a fit-all, catch-all situation. You have to learn, and it really helps if you know the history of what you're doing and where it's going to occur at. But it can be very beneficial. If planned right and done right, it can be disastrous if not handled correctly. And that's where we're at in that transition state where it needs to be handled.
Barbara, do you want to add anything to that?
Yeah.
Or give that?
There you go. I see it as an advantage, and I agree with both of the gentlemen. The one thing that I would add is that we need to take advantage of getting ahead of that. And so when they buy these chunks of property and they're coming in and doing all this, we need to put the burden on those individuals to pay for the infrastructure, to pay for the things that are needed instead of that money coming out of the county. If you're going to come in and buy all this property, then you pay for the sewer, you pay for the water, you pay for getting the roads fixed and all of those things. Let's update our policies and our guidelines for the subdivisions so that we can incorporate it to where they pay for that if they're going to come in. And then we want to protect our heritage. We want to stay with the small town type of mentality. We don't want to become a city. So we just have to protect it and have them pay for the things that are going to be needed for our infrastructure.
That's okay.
Judge, I think I'm going to address the last one to you. It really may not be a question you can answer, but you can answer the second part of it. Seems we pay a lot in real estate taxes. Where do they go? And the follow-up is, do they stay in the county and do they stay in the precinct?
Well, they do stay in the county, and a portion of them are allotted to each one of the precincts. You got your general fund taxes, and then you got your road and bridge and lateral road taxes. Those are divided up amongst the 4 precincts based on, well, we have they each get, I think it's like 27, 27, 23, and 23. That's based on mileage and population mostly. 2 of the precincts, Precinct 3 and Precinct 4, have probably over 150 miles of roads, whereas Precinct 1 and 2 have more like a little over 100 miles, so they wouldn't get as big a percentage. I hope that answers the question.
And that's only on the 15 cents for road and bridge, not the general fund.
You want to clarify that?
He said something about my general fund. I want the world to know that we took $1 million out of the general fund to give to the road and bridge precincts last year, so they could kind of get ahead on these fixing these roads, and that was. Now let's not make a habit out of that, though, Commissioner. All right, who's next?
All right. Next is County Treasurer. Dee Dee, come on up here. Or take the mic, whatever you want to do. But I do have a question you can answer before you even get started. What is the job difference between a county clerk and a district clerk? Do you know the answer to that?
A little bit. I worked for the county clerk for a while, so the district clerk, they handle the felonies and above marriages. No, that's county clerk marriages. They do adoptions, divorces. County clerk, they do marriages, the good stuff. And they handle all the records for when you buy property and things like that. So there's a difference. No? Okay. So hi, my name is Dee Dee Bailey and I'm the county treasurer. I wanted to start off and let y'all know, most people don't know what the treasurer does, so I'm gonna give you a list of it. Thank you. So I'm gonna give you a list of things that we do, or I do, and then things and go into greater details. I handle all the payroll, receipting and processing, benefits coordinator, hotel taxes, investment officer. I handle the bank recs, policy coordinator. I'm the risk management coordinator. I do workers' comp and unemployment. I handle all human resources. I pay all the fines and fees to the state. I handle unclaimed property, and I negotiate all the bank contracts. So to go into a little bit more detail, I am the investment officer. When I took office, our investments were about $27,000 a year. Last year, I collected about $587,000. What I'm doing is taking your taxpayers' money and investing it and making it work for y'all. I also do the hotel taxes. When I took that over my second year, they were collecting about $7,000 a year. My first year, I collected about $81,000. I take that money, we use it for our businesses to advertise. We're building a park. We did the lights on the square. We give it to the Historical Society. They have revamped the Old Town Square. They've done a lot of money with that, a lot of work with that money. Let's see, I handle the retiree insurance. For the first time this year, we've been able to get insurance for the people that have worked for the county for a long time, been able to retire and have insurance. We've taken the money from workers' comp and unemployment, things that we got reimbursed back. We invested that money, we were able to get insurance. Last but not least, I also handle the policies for the county, and when I took office, I rewrote those so they would be in line with the state mandates and laws. And that's it. You have any questions? All right, thank you.
Thank you. And the next one up is Cindy. Cindy, you here?
Hi.
Come on up here.
Turn that one off. Can you reach this? You want this one?
Well, I know I'm short. I hear that all the time from the people I work with at work. So thank y'all for coming out. I appreciate everyone that has showed up. It's a very nice crowd. I want to say I am running for county treasurer. I find that you elect the people that's going to take office, and they should be responsible to you. They should be the face of the office. Their staff is to be their support, not to do the work. They're there to be the support and help that elected candidate to do that work. So with that said, I am a hard worker. I'm a strong worker. My boss is here. You can see that or she can tell you that I come to work every day. I do 40 hours. I'm never slack. She actually has a hard time of getting me to take off. But I also think that it's time for me to take a leadership role. My son is graduating this year. I can be dedicated to the position 100%. I do believe that we should be working towards getting out of an antiquated system as far as payroll and things for the county employees. There's things that you can do online that would be beneficial for them and not have to wait on paper forms to come. There's various things. My open door policy means that my door will be unlocked. People can come in. There is some safety things in that office, but they can be also addressed with an open door. There's no reason for it to. There's other offices that collect money as well in that courthouse. The tax office collects money. They have open door policies. Their doors are not locked. I was raised in this county. Lived in precinct 3. I live in precinct 4 now. I enjoy working with the people. I have served 12 years at the appraisal district where I was deputy chief. I worked with a lot of people trying to help resolve things with their properties. I'm accustomed to working with people, so that's not a problem. I've already worked with a lot of elected officials that I get along really well with, and I just would like to strive and do much better with that interaction with them and be professional and respectful to Commissioner's Court when we go. So with that said, I would appreciate your vote. I thank you for your time tonight, and if you have any questions, I'll be glad to answer. I do have a Facebook page. You can look my page up, and everything that I have on there is exactly how I feel. I would be working for you. I'm not going to be one of those who do not show up. It's your money going to pay my salary, and that's where I want to be, is working for you. So there is the investment. As far as the investment, I know the current incumbent said that she has collected a lot of money. Well, if you go back in the records and look, that actually had to come from a previous commissioner who brought that to the attention that money should be growing more. And it was only within, I think in 2024 when that actually started. So we've had, I believe, took office in 2019, I believe, and that's many years that could have been collecting money if the investment had been researched and done correctly. So again, thank you for your time. I appreciate you coming out. And sorry for my nervousness. This is my first time to run, and I know my boss is going to tell me about it too. So y'all have a blessed evening.
I don't have any questions for these two ladies. Anybody got anything they want to ask? Okay, moving right along. County Commissioner Precinct 4, Mr. Natino, come on up here.
Good evening, everyone. I'd like to thank Point Blank Community Church for letting us have this event. I want to thank Mayor Wood for doing this. This is all his idea. My name is Mark Natino. I'm your current Precinct 4 County Commissioner. My wife Jackie is in the back right there, and I soon to celebrate like 37 years, I believe. 11 days, if she lets me say 11 days more. I'm one of 5 people on the Commissioner's Court who conduct business of the county. I've served with over 50 different elected officials in my term. I've helped obtain and manage state and federal grants. I'm your voice on Commissioner's Court. I work to cut wasteful spending, while at the same time making sure Precinct 4 receives funding to carry on the business. I proudly represent your county, appointed by the Commissioner's Court on the DP's Texas Council of Government, which we talked a little bit a while ago about the funding for the radios. It's a grant, and it's a $1.5 million grant, and they're going to have a 5-year tower lease. They're going to also have a console put in the Sheriff's Department. Time frame on that, we don't know. We are just now today, or next week in court, approving some bid to go out for bids for some projects for Hurricane Harvey, and this money came from Hurricane Harvey, disaster recovery. So the grants are they're coming. Sheriff, I'm talking to you because we're bringing it. Yes, sir. I also serve as a current debt card president I'm an experienced commissioner and I've always worked for you. I would ask for your vote in the upcoming election. One other thing I wanted to talk about Mark Wood just a little bit, just to lighten air a little bit. We start at 6:30 in the morning. So I go by there, when he first started being mayor, I went by there and he says, 6:30 he's already here. I'm like, what's this man, what's he doing? So I said, I'm gonna beat him to work tomorrow. So I come in at 5:45, he's already there. About 3 days of that, I keep opening up about 15 minutes at the time. All right, I showed up about 4:45. No, Olivia, what time does he go to work? Yeah.
She doesn't know.
All right. So I pulled in there one morning, I said, I got him, all right? I beat him to work. Guess what? He didn't come to work today, he had a doctor's appointment. All right, is any questions?
Your time is up.
Is any questions for me?
Thank you, boss. Zach, where are you hiding?
Well, this is a trick. Oh, I can't stand right there. This is a trick because ain't nobody told me how to talk tonight. But I do know that I'm a preacher, so y'all might be here for a while. Time clocks, yeah. No, I just want to introduce myself, Zach Curry. Been living in San Jacinto County 49 years. But I will tell you this, and it may be the wrong room to say this, but I am not a politician, okay? I'm a worker. I'm not going to stand up here and bash nobody and say this needs to be done, that needs to be done. That's not what I'm about. But what I am about is I'm about getting things done the best of my ability with what we have to work with. I understand that commissioners have budgets. They have other people that sit with them. They have to vote on things. And it gets tough. Trust me, I've seen a little bit here and there, talk to some different folks, and I understand their job. They got a tough job. And then everybody that voted for them is like, well, why don't you do this? Why don't you do that? What about my road? What about my bridge? What about this? What about that? They're like, we only got so much money. I do see some things that can be done that doesn't take a whole lot of money. You know what I mean? I understand there's a budget, but I think if I get in there, may have a little bit more poor-minded to do things with a little less money. Can't make no promises because I ain't there yet. So I'm not going to stand up and tell you that I'm going to make promises that I can't keep, but I'll tell you this. If you elect me, I will give you everything that I have with every fiber in my body to do the best job I can as county commissioner for you. Thank you.
Appreciate it. Now, we obviously have a lot of questions for the county commissioner. But I'm going to take a little executive privilege here and let's talk about this roads thing. I am the county engineer. And I don't know whether you all caught it or not, but about 2 months ago, maybe 3 at this point, I put an essay in the paper, and it's called The Extent of the Problem. I don't know whether you all know this. There's 540 miles of road in San Jacinto County that the county is supposed to maintain. Now, the commissioners have a budget of a little over $6 million. Okay, that sounds like a lot of money. But the cost of rebuilding a road is almost $800,000 a mile now. And when we use our own labor, it's cheaper. But when we use our own labor, the force in each one of the precincts is not doing other things. So this is kind of bad. But if we had to fix all of the roads, we're talking about a $479,200,000 problem. This problem is not going to get fixed. So the commissioners get in there and they try to judiciously figure out what they can do. Now, we're working on a lot of ideas on how to lower the cost of resurfacing or doing something different. But it's going to take a couple of years before we get any results. So all of these questions about when you're going to fix my roads, can you do something in our subdivision? What is your budget for repair annually? Well, I think I just told you. These guys work at it. But roads is probably only about 40% or 30% of what a commissioner does. And that's one of the questions. What is the job of a commissioner? Commissioner, would you like to answer that?
Yeah, she pretty much sums up everything. You name it, we do it. I had a gentleman leave just a while ago. He got up and gave me a thumbs up and left. He said, I have a new resident. We were driving to the compactor, and I said, there's your commissioner right there. He's out there mowing the grass. And he said, I can't believe that. He said, well, we do it all. There's not one thing that we don't do as commissioners. We handle the sanitation. Anybody go to the sanitation? All four precincts have a sanitation department. Did anybody go there here in this room? Yeah, we do. I do. We manage that. We make sure it's staffed 6 days a week. It's numerous. We set over the subdivision rules, which y'all talked about earlier. The mayor and I have went over those subdivision rules, and we tried to figure out a way to make the developers have to contribute more. One of the ideas Walker County actually uses is they only allow concrete streets. They will not, you cannot build a subdivision in Walker County unless it's a concrete street. Now, we just changed our rules the other day, or a couple months ago, that the rule said that we must accept the roads. We changed that to we may accept them, because we don't need any more liability. We cannot take care of what we've got now to add more to it. So, I mean, I don't know if that's enough. We do it all. We set the budget, we work with the judge, we approve the budget, we set the tax rate. Rather proud of the 48-cent tax rate. And to alleviate a little more on that, 48 cents is the total tax rate for the county. Schools is not in there. Road and bridge only gets 15 cents of that. And it's divided up. The total amount of taxes in the county is divided up by 27, 27, 23, and 23. And that's what I get to spend.
Zach, I had a couple of questions for you, but in my opinion, they were kind of gotcha questions, so I'll answer them for you. Do you know how many miles of roads are in your precinct? Precinct 4 has 166.82 miles. Do you know what your budget for repair annually is? Well, I think the standing commissioner just answered that for you. Do you know the cost for mile of resurfacing? Well, I think I answered that. Okay. Who's next? Oh. We have Justice of Peace Precinct 1, Christina. Come on out here. Wondered when I was going to get you.
Hi, I'm Christina McGee. I'm the Justice of the Peace in Precinct 1 in Cool Spring. I am running for re-election. I have served 2 terms, well, almost completed 2 terms as Justice of the Peace. My background is in, sorry, there's a lot of people up there today. It's a little bit different in court, you know, because I'm there to do that, and then this I was told was going to be a question and answer, so I was prepared for people to ask me questions and me to answer the questions. I was not prepared to actually give a speech, so I'm going to be straight and honest with you today. And then as I'm looking at people, I normally find a spot to stare at, and today I did not do that. But my background is in bachelor's from Sam Houston State University, which is in criminal justice, sociology, and psychology. I served at the school for many years while my kids were in school. I volunteered and I subbed, and then I taught there for 1 year while I was running for office. I have worked in the county clerk's office as the chief deputy for 2 years, which is in the chief deputy, and I handled probate and all the civil cases. As Justice of the Peace, it is mostly civil what we handle. It is evictions, it is small claims, and up to $20,000. I have over 9 years of experience in civil court experience. In criminal justice, we handle mostly just the traffic tickets, and we handle the magistrations and things that we handle in our on-call. with that, my background is criminal justice as far as my degree, but then I have the 9 years experience. I think that the People's Court is what mostly people see the Justice of the Peace Court as, and that is what I like to be. I want to be the person that when you come in there, I am unbiased, that I make sure everyone has a chance to be heard. Things that I have worked on to improve while being in the office is that I'm trying to work to going more paperless and being more technical, and we have started taking credit card payments so that when the influx of people come and they are used to having courts that have the technology, we're trying to gear up to get ready for that. Thank you.
Okay, we also have the Justice of the Peace Precinct 3, Shane. Come on up and say a few. You remind me of my son. You're looking an awful lot like him.
He's a good-looking fella, huh? All right. My name is Shane Hyman, and I am running for Justice of the Peace, Precinct 3. My wife here, Wendy, raise your hand. 37 years of marriage. We've got 2 children and 4 grandbabies. We've been out here in San Jacinto County for 10 years now, and I'm running on 3 things: integrity, fairness, and respect. I believe that if you're going to run for an office like this, you need to be a man of integrity. I believe that the office needs to have integrity. The court needs to have integrity. I believe that everybody that comes in there should be treated fairly, not for who they are, not for who they know, not for what's going on in the past, but who they are right now in the situation they're in. And then I also believe that everybody needs to be treated with respect, but respect is earned. If you come into the court with respect, you're going to be treated with respect. You come into the court and you're belligerent, things may get different. May not be the way you anticipated it going. But I believe those are the 3 things that I will bring to the office. I've been in ministry for 30 years. I've been in business for 26 years. I do project management and sales, and I'm a sales manager as well. And so I believe with those experiences, I'll bring something to the table that will be able to help facilitate the issues that people have. As a pastor, you're ministering to people. As a business leader, you're taking care of the needs of the people that you're dealing with. And I believe I'll bring those same things to the Office of Justice of the Peace. And I look forward to serving you. And that's me. And, one other thing. I'm Precinct 3. You probably won't ever get to see me, but once a month, I'll be on call, and we'll be covering the entire county. So there's a chance that we could come in contact with one another. So appreciate you. Talk to you later.
Then our own Justice of the Peace, Precinct 4, Kim.
I'm not here. I'll go ahead and say it. You saved the best for last.
There's no trick to this. Hi, I'm Kim Webb. I'm Justice of the Peace here in Precinct 4. And I just want to say thank you, point blank, Mayor Wood, for hosting this event. And I also want to pay attention to Constable Brian Cosme in the back. He is not on the ballot. Neither is Commissioner Crystal Domini. And I know they both appreciate me calling attention to them. But it is important to look around the room and see who's not running and that they're here. Okay. So this is my 4th year, going into my 2nd term. Some things that I have done this last term is we have a courtroom. I have to thank the Commissioner's Court for allowing me to be able to do that. We hosted an open house, and it was a great turnout with the Cold Spring Chamber of Commerce. If you have not seen the new courtroom, stop on by. Come look at it. It is beautiful. So we have a courtroom now. We also have gone to accept credit card payments. We looked around at some of the other offices in San Jacinto County that do credit card payments, And it is beneficial because we're 2026 now. And everybody coming in to pay a traffic ticket wanted to pay with a credit card. They didn't care about the little convenience fee. It was more convenient for them to pay with the card than go to the post office and get a money order. So we have done that as well. We also have a blessing box. This church is really great at having food pantries, and they do that. It's a great way for them to give back to the community, but we do see a need for our constituents that don't have the means to pay for their groceries. Everybody's on hard times, so we've created a blessing box outside, and I have several pictures of people just coming and donating, and it is a great thing to give back to your community. So we do a lot of those. We host a judicial academy. I have Cindy's son. He was a part of that. So it's more of a let the students learn what the role of the JP is, what the role of the other legal fields are. They have hosted at the district attorney's office. They have gotten to see magistrates. So when I say magistrates, that is when the sheriff's department, they go arrest somebody, and we see them on Facebook, right? Those mug shots are great now. Everybody likes to look at those. So they go out, they arrest an individual. Well, we have to read them their rights, and we have to set a bond. And so people don't know that about a justice of the peace. Christina McGee talked about the civil side of stuff, but there's a lot of the criminal side that we do as well. And so the JP will determine, hey, what were they arrested for? Let's look at their priors. Do they have any priors for the same offense? And then they will read them their rights, because everybody, it's Constitution, it's amendment, you have to have the rights. You have to have, certain offenses are allowed to have a bail. So we have to determine a bail amount. And so we do that. So once we set that bail amount, we will take into consideration the offense, criminal history, and then recommendations if there are any for bond conditions. Then we have to monitor those bond conditions. So if you're arrested for a DWI second, we normally do interlock. And we are going to continue to monitor we coming in. I could talk forever.
Okay, I think that completes my list. Did I miss anybody over here? Everybody satisfied? Okay, good. Thank you, Kelly. That worked. With that, I invite you all to get with the candidates. Don't make us stay here all night. I thank the Point Blank Community Church. Thank you for the use of the facilities. We could have never done it at ours. Thank you, Gary. Thank you guys from the council for being here. Anybody in a blue shirt, except for Mike, he's out of uniform.